Hello everyone and welcome to the demo of Rue Valley, which is a narrative RPG about a man stuck in a time loop. So yeah, let's jump right in and try it out. Okay. Well, this is an interesting way of doing it. Let's do that. Sure. $7:59. 8 p.m.
The frenetic sound coming from a century-old clock nudges you back to the present. The stale air perfects the image of the old motel room.
Okay.
Still with me, Mr. Harrow?
The doctor takes off his glasses, freeing his bushy eyebrows. Just nod.
Mr. Harrow, I'm aware that you may be experiencing a slight lack of motivation right now.
He smiles and nods back.
Slight lack of motivation. More like total lack of motivation. You'd rather stay in bed all day instead of attending this joke of a therapy in the middle of nowhere.
And we'll surely be coming back to this condition of yours later during our sessions. But for now, I just want you to acknowledge its existence and try to stay aware of it at all times, if possible.
Okay.
The
What
silence
condition?
befalls the room. A muffled sound of clanging from the outside only making the moment more uncomfortable.
I'm fine.
That's good to hear. Now, in order to keep us focused, I always limit the session length to exactly 1 hour, hence the alarm.
Okay.
However, since this is your first session, I'll allow a few questions, if there's anything.
Can't you simply state that I'm fine so we can both move on with our lives? Is another session really necessary? I was hoping this would be a one-time thing. Why do we have to do this here in the middle of nowhere? Yeah.
It may be hard to understand the need for isolation at first, but my methods require complete divergence from the client's regular way of life,
Okay.
as well as temporary distancing from their social groups and circles. This place is ideal in that regard. However, it's understandable that you need a period of adaptation to both this idea and to your new surroundings. That's
Okay.
also why I haven't asked you to hand over your phone yet. But please don't be alarmed. We'll talk about all of it in due time. Any
Okay.
other questions?
Yeah, can't you simply state that I'm fine so we can both move on with our lives?
Mr. Harrow, that is out of the question. This is a court-ordered therapy, and both of us could be fined or worse if we don't see it through. And I
Okay.
have my own professional reasons, besides the legal ones. You require help, and I've been designated to provide it.
Or what,
I've
though?
never let a client down, and I'm not about to do it now. Anything else?
Yeah.
Mr. Harrow, your case is not to be overlooked. We need to assess the situation carefully.
Your
Okay.
case. Not so long ago, nobody cared about what you do. Yet now, suddenly, your business is everyone's business.
Why,
This
though?
first session is more for you to get acquainted with me and my methods. We have a long road ahead of us. All right
Okay.
then. That's it for today.
Through the door, you hear that sound again.
Yeah.
You should go and check in at the office. Your room is probably ready by now.
Okay. Next to you is the source of the clangs you heard from inside, a young woman beating up an old vending machine.
Give me my coffee, you jerk!
Alright.
Out already!
All the attention of the girl behind the counter is occupied by the ongoing phone call.
Yes? Yes, I'm sure.
She says to the person on the other end of the line. Social check. Try to get her attention. It's best to let her make the first move. She'll soon notice you on her own, end the phone call, and ask if she can help you. That's what receptionists are supposed to do. Pretend to look at the leaflets laying on the desk, and hope she will address you eventually. You grab a leaflet and stare through it, mentally preparing for the imminent conversation. You either manage to look like you're really here for the leaflets, or she simply doesn't care.
Giant donut sign. I have no idea where you are.
She says to her conversation partner. After a few dozens anxiety-filled seconds, you finally realize she's not about to cut her call short just because you happen to show up. Awkward. Move away from the reception desk and stop invading her personal space. Okay.
Yes. Now, turn right, and then immediately take a slight left.
Better wait inside or she might start another call as soon as she finishes this one. Alright. Sit down. A chair is not a bed, but let's be honest, it's better than standing. Sure. The phone bleeps to life with a lock screen that is obviously years old. If it wasn't a collection of pixels, it would be musty with age and neglect. Scroll through the feed. You start scrolling through stale memes, boring news articles, beach photos of ex-acquaintances, and poorly targeted sponsored posts. In one picture, a grinning middle-aged stranger is apparently showcasing his newest baby, thanks to a cleverly applied filter. Both of them sport donkey ears. In an overly long and arguably racist video, a non-native speaker is repeatedly making embarrassing linguistic errors. They often turn out to be unintentional double entendres. Hilarity ensues. Thank you for the fade to black. Minutes pass, but the phone call is still not at its end.
Sounds like you missed the exit.
She says to her conversation partner in disappointment. Back to the phone. Yeah, play a game. The first wave of tiny bow tie wearing antagonists appears on your phone screen. You tap the one carrying a golden fork and he instantly turns into an amorphous purple splotch. A matching splotching sound effect plays at the same time, further confirming that the bowtie wearing golden fork carrying antagonist is no more. I guess I'm supposed to squash them all. Sigh and continue squashing them. The receptionist is still giving directions over the phone and you're getting restless.
Can you see the industrial compressor sign? No?
She asks the person on the other end of the line. Yes, sit patiently. Time goes by and the girl at the reception desk is still
All
talking.
Right. I understand. Yes. Bye. Hi.
Finally.
Can I help you? I would have
Finally.
finished the call earlier if I knew you were waiting for me. You're too quiet.
No, I just didn't feel like checking in right away.
You didn't feel like it. And how about now?
That's good, yeah.
Okay, let's get you into your room. So, number 6. That's the
Okay.
last one on the second floor. Everything is prepared for you, and this is your key card.
Okay. Yeah, just take it. You stretch your arm politely, hoping she'll hand you the card, but she's completely ignoring your gesture and is excitedly waving it around.
I see you're confused by this. You were expecting an old-fashioned key, weren't you? Well,
really.
We've decided to modernize for a number of reasons.
Yeah, let's just snatch the key from her hand. Her key card. You snatch the card from her hand and she stops in the middle of a sentence with a shocked expression on her face.
Wow. All right. I'll need your signature here.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Bye. And having to wait for a long ass time would make me very annoyed. The paint is peeling from the wood of the door, but number 6 is new, shiny, and chrome. Yep. A tiny green dot of light shows up near the knob. The door is unlocked. Alright. Look at the mirror. The mirror splotches make interesting patterns on your face. They conceal a dark circle here, a mole there, a patch of wrinkles. I know that face too well, no need to discern every little detail. Truth be told, you prefer not to look at it. Hundreds of strangers have slept in this bed, leaving behind flakes of dead skin. Still, you can't wait to jump into the sheets and contribute to the collection. Unfortunately, between you and the object of your desire, on the folded sheets lies a dusty suitcase, your suitcase, the smallest one you own. I can't deal with this right now, okay? Yeah, it's such a chore, but the more you prolong it, the worse it will get. If you don't unpack now, it'll feel ever harder and more pointless to do it later. Step by step, a simple act of unpacking will become an insurmountable burden, and even thinking about it will make you feel weak and powerless. Do you really want to crawl back into that deep black pit? Alright, let's open the suitcase and just get it done already. There's not much in the suitcase. Spare clothes, a phone charger, a toothbrush, and a couple of other items. You really weren't planning on staying here long. Well, you better see if they have laundry facilities, sessions, Dr. Fink said. Days or weeks, months even. Decisional check. Unpack the suitcase. Okay. I'm guessing red means bad. Or fail. But I don't know. There. No reason to spend the whole evening unpacking after all. You've always preferred a more casual arrangement for your stuff. And now that the suitcase has been dealt with, this motel room is officially your home. It'll do. That's the spirit. Is there anything else to interact with apart from that? Some of your clothes are hanging limp on the armchair. Let's just lie down. Despite the tight sheets and crisp-looking pillow, the bed reeks of dust and age. Fall onto the bed. I would not do it face down. You fall onto the bed with all your weight. It croaks and squirms, and a cloud of dust and skin particles rises up. As soon as your head touches the rough pillow, though, tiredness overwhelms you. Coming to this nowhere motel to attend a therapy you don't need has drained you both physically and mentally. You are desperate to get some sleep, yet after weeks of wakeful nights, you know it won't come that easy. Just close your eyes and hope sleep will come. Alright. But you don't have a moment to celebrate before your ears are pierced by a ringtone that you swore you would change years ago. Answer it.
Hello, sir. Am I speaking with Eugene Harrow?
The line crackles heavily as if the man is speaking from the distant past. Who wants to know?
My name is Percy Rugger, and I'm a senior sales executive at Ulterior Paralegal Exploits Consultancy. We'd like to offer our help regarding your case.
My case?
Well, if my information is correct, you have recently been unjustly forced to participate in a treatment which, in our opinion, may have consequences not aligned with your best interests. Now, I'm sure you're quite concerned about it, Mr. Harrow, but don't worry. We're here to help you regain your rights.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'd rather not talk about it.
Mr. Harrow, I completely understand how
Doubt
you
you
feel.
do.
Even for me, it's hard to talk, hard to even think about the injustice that has occurred. But we will work together to put an end to this undue response to your, well, unique situation. I mean, we have only known each other for a couple of minutes, and I can already see what a strong-willed individual you are. You know what you want, and nothing will stop you from getting it.
He doesn't seem very strong-willed at all.
So, I presume you're ready for the next step in our cooperation.
Thank you, but I'm not interested in your services at the moment.
Of course, of course. I'll assume you have nothing against if I call again later just to make sure you haven't changed your mind. I'll write that down here. Eugene, Mr. Harrow, it was a pleasure. Talk to you soon. Tschüss.
Okay, so, German then. Before you have a chance to say anything, the phone line is already dead. But at least now you know you're not the only one who realizes the absurdity of this mandated psychotherapy. Close your eyes again. Darkness surrounds you once more, but the images return, flashing quickly without your consent, a veritable carousel of impressions and experiences. Alright. From the blur of half-formed memories and impressions, an image of the receptionist emerges. You're desperately trying to catch her attention, but she's completely engrossed in the ongoing phone call. Okay. Pretend to look at the leaflets. Blah, blah, blah. What a pathetic attempt at acting. Or were you a bad actor on purpose, hoping she'd take pity on you? You see yourself standing in your new hotel room, holding your phone next to your right ear. Yeah. Oh, come on. You know what he's talking about. Out of the swirling images, the bushy eyebrows of your new psychotherapist emerge, bouncing up and down as he talks. It's not. Are you conserving your words or hiding the fact that you just don't have any? I bet it's the latter. The image of the young woman flashes before your mind's eye. She's punching and kicking the old vending machine. Could she be here for therapy as well? Ignore her. It is what it is. You have nothing to say, nothing to do, just the bare minimum. As your consciousness keeps spinning around, the carousel of recent experiences turns into a cyclone of painful memories, repressed thoughts, and strange images. Desert? You find yourself walking through a desert. Your eyes are fixed on the guide in front of you, and your feet are trying to keep up with their steady pace. But the distance between you keeps growing until the guide becomes merely a dot nearing the horizon. Once you finally admit you can no longer see them, your body collapses onto the cracked earth below. You surrender to the bittersweet feeling of hopelessness and decide this spot will be your grave and the sun your executioner. But it will be no swift act of mercy. No, you will be tortured and kept wishing for it all to just end. Look up at your headsman? As you gaze at the sun, green and purple after images start appearing on your eyelids every time you blink. And the sun, it keeps staring back at you relentlessly without the slightest intention of ever moving away from the zenith. Attic? You're desperately searching for something in the dark, dusty attic full of broken furniture and random clutter. You don't recall ever being here before, but you know it's the attic of your own house, and every piece of old junk that you stumble upon feels somehow familiar, although you cannot really recognize any of it. Search behind the pile of crumbling decades-old books, look below the moldy remnants of a sofa, open the chest covered in cobwebs. Yeah. Inside the chest is a pile of old letters. You can't remember if they are yours, but you know they're not worth reading. Search behind the pile of crumbling decades-old books. You carefully move the pile to the side and discover another pile of even older books hiding behind it. While moving the second pile, despite your care, some of the books simply turn to dust, only for a third pile to be revealed of books so ancient you don't dare to even touch them. Look below the sofa, you look underneath the sofa, and only darkness meets your eye. You stretch out your arm reluctantly, but find only dust and dead insect shells. Give up. Condemnation? The figure of your angry father towers over you. He says, frowning at you in disappointment. Really wondering what I did. But I didn't do it at the end. The emptiness inside you grows, absorbing one more chunk of yourself. You are falling. Alright. Emancipate the cocooned memories. Why bring back old painful memories? Better to leave them hidden deep inside and forget about them, right? Or are you strong enough to confront them? Okay. Don't worry, these are not real memories. Yeah, they are echoes of my past, but they are the embodiment of my feelings. Yes, let's do that one. More like random neural activity in your brain. Best forget about them. I just know they are important. Could be, but are you strong enough to confront them? Not yet. Well, someone was driving very fast. The sound of a car engine and screeching tires urges you to open your eyes, bringing you back to miserable reality once again. Your head is still spinning in a whirlwind of uncontrollable thoughts. Your nostrils pick up a curious smell of dust, and your throat is as dry as a desert. It was foolish to hope you'd fall asleep. Get up and find some water. Okay, that's one way of getting out of bed. Turn on the tap and drink some water. As soon as you turn on the tap, a horrible smell fills your nostrils. It's like there's a plumbing issue in hell and all that blocked sewage is feeding directly into the faucet. Then you see the water streaming out of the tap. It's a robust shade of jet black mixed with chunks of silt. Can I back out? Yeah, as soon as the first drop of water enters your mouth, the taste of mud and sharp metals overwhelms you, and before you have a chance to stop, it reaches down your throat and into your stomach. Bile starts rising up with the remnants of what meager food you ate today. Sure. At last, that horrible, horrible taste of heavy metals and toxic soil is gone, replaced by one of stinging acid and semi-digested food. But instead of quenching your thirst, you expelled what little liquid you had inside your stomach, making you even weaker and more dehydrated. There has to be some source of drinkable water in the motel. An optimistic assumption. And if nothing else, go suck on an ice cube. Oh. Okay. You hear the man yell from inside his vehicle. Even through the tinted windshield, you can feel his frustration. He yells at the car. That pole is swaying. Judging by the careless driving you just witnessed, the man is either under the influence or another patient of Dr. Finks. He's probably drunk. Good thing he's driving through a desert. That lowers the risk of him hurting anyone but himself. Come to think of it, could it be that's exactly what he's trying to do? I'd rather not think about that right now. Right, let's find something to drink. Whoa, you jump as if someone jabbed you in the stomach. For a split second, the whole world was exploding, but it was just a thunderclap, the loudest one you ever witnessed. Never a dull moment here. Your mind says it's nothing, but your heart is still racing from the sudden shock. It's pumping, but there's nothing to use this unwanted excess of adrenaline for, so it keeps lingering, eating you from the inside out, while you stand alone and thirsty in the middle of the empty parking lot. Hopefully you won't have to melt ice in your mouth to quench your thirst. Truth be told, that's not a half bad idea. That's a terrible idea. Who knows how old this ice is? Plus, there's a vending machine just a couple of steps away. Nah, seems like it's broken. Put some ice into your mouth. You open the machine and put a bit of frozen water on your tongue. It has a flavor. Chew it to help it melt faster, yeah. You start chewing on the ice aggressively and your teeth immediately start hurting. Suddenly, the night sky turns blood red and you feel an infinite scream passing through everything. Unbearable anxiety washes over you. Hide? But you can't hide from the whole sky on fire any better than you can from your own past. Anxious apprehension? At least I don't have to face it. Your eyelids connect and darkness greets you for a mere second, but as always, the carousel of suffering starts spinning immediately. How do I let go of it? That's easy. Simply let go of yourself. What kind of answer is that? No, I was expecting an answer. But the receptionist disappears, and instead the fiery sky begins burning its way through the darkness, cutting several straight, narrow slits in your closed eyelids. I want this to stop. Squeeze your eyelids tighter. Well then, keep craving. keep clinging, keep suffering. I have no choice. And 7:59. Right? Oh, sorry. 8.
Still with me, Mr. Harrow?
I don't need therapy.
Well, Mr. Harrow, the court thinks that you do. I am simply doing my job, and we will need at least a few more sessions just to determine the severity of your case.
As he speaks, Dr. Fink only seems to become more real.
But I am aware of a slight lack of motivation on your part, and will surely be coming back to this condition of yours.
Lack of motivation? That's the least of your worries, while your mind is filled with this crushing, overwhelming sense of impending... Wait, did you hear that? A muffled sound of metallic clanging from the outside diverts your frail attention. For some unknown reason, your heartbeat accelerates and cold sweat appears in your armpits.
At all times, if possible.
The doctor finishes, apparently expecting some sort of answer from you. Sure.
That's good to hear. Now, in order to keep us focused, I always limit the session length to exactly 1. However, since this is your first session...
He stops mid-sentence and gives you a concerned look.
Mr. Harrow, you're shaking. Are you feeling unwell?
Well, you endured a whole session stoically so far, but this one moment of anxiety, it could completely ruin your chances of being sent back home anytime soon. Emotional check. Try and act like the stable, well-adjusted person that you are. Hey! There's no denying you're upset, and the doctor has noticed it already. Best to be honest about it. I'd rather not talk about it right now. Lower your eyes.
That's understandable. Sometimes it's hard to talk about our emotions, but we should never be ashamed of having them. Don't worry. With time, your skill and willingness to identify and communicate your inner states will surely improve. Just remember that trying to understand our feelings is always a good idea, and very often a necessary step in process of getting better. May I ask, how is your sleep these days?
I sleep fine.
Is that so?
He seems to inspect the dark circles under your eyes.
Well then, just in case you have trouble adjusting to your new bed.
He opens his hand, revealing a single purple pill lying on his palm.
There's no reflection in his glasses. Behind them, a pair of bushy eyebrows.
Remember, what I'm giving you is a mild, non-prescription herbal hypnotic drug. Nothing more.
Take the purple pill.
Hopefully, it'll help you calm down and get some rest tonight. We'll continue tomorrow. All right then. Now, you only need to pick up the key card for your room, and I'll call the reception to make sure everything is in order. Sounds good?
Yeah. Anyway, I am going to end this video here. If this looks interesting to you, then do check it out on Steam. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please consider leaving a like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!